That's why it's so important that when you're dating to really understand somebody's perspective, like asking pointed questions to understand how someone sees life.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to see themselves as a bad person. So every action that they take, in their mind, they've justified why they are able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand how they see life, because them doing all the relationship things but not committing to you, they somehow in their mind justified that that's fine,
But
because
that's
nobody
totally
wants to
fine.
see themselves as a bad person. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Love Scenario. Oh, whoa.
Hi,
Shout out to all
everybody.
our real lovers out there. Welcome back to the show, guys. Glad to have you back. If you want to join the Real Lover Gang, like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. That mean a lot to you. It means a lot to us, but it's free to you. It should mean a lot to you too if you're watching this consistently, for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. I'm over here like begging, please, baby. I'm begging, baby. I'm begging, begging, baby. Come on, do it. Thank you. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. If you're new to the show, welcome. This is a show where we, have real relationship talk and do it in a healthy and productive way. We talked about it on another show, like, some of the clickbaity things out there. We
Yeah.
trying to discuss things in a real positive, healthy, insightful way to help people build happy, healthy relationships. So we're excited to dive into our topic today. Rhonda, what are we talking about?
Oh, today we are talking about what seems to scare the fellas maybe a little more than the ladies. Not to rip the band-aid off of a gender war here, but
Uh-oh.
the big old exclusive talk. The what are we? The what is this?
Okay.
I know how much men don't tend to like that question. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, like how to get into figuring out if you are exclusively dating, when you expect that, what is exclusively dating
Yeah.
versus are we in a relationship
Okay.
mean? Because I feel like it's a lot of colorful ways to say it today.
Yeah, it is.
And we need to just figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure it out. So that's what we jumping into.
So let's dive in then.
Yeah. Let's jump into defining the terms, because I've heard a lot of different things today. I've heard
Today?
Yeah. Well, like
In today's
today's
age.
times.
Okay.
In recent days. Talking exclusively, dating exclusively sleeping with one another, and then like we are together, like we're an actual item. And I think people view all of those things very differently. So let's talk a little bit about the first one. Do you think there is a such thing as talking exclusively? And if so, what do you think that means?
I think there's a such thing. Yeah. I mean, people say it to one another. So it's out there. People use
Okay.
the term, and I think people do it if
Okay.
you're using words to define what's actually happening. To me, I don't feel like that's something that you actually have to say, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, for me, when I think about when I was dating my wife, we didn't necessarily say like, I'm only talking to you. It was just kind of like understood about how we were moving.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way this person is entertaining anybody else with the intentionality that they're showing, with the words that they're showing, saying. Like, we don't even have to think about or have that discussion to really like think about like, are we
Yeah.
talking to each other exclusively? But if it ever came up, it was an easy answer. It was like, oh yeah.
Like that's what we
Don't you
do.
know sometimes things could be so aligned and so natural that you can't even remember if you had a discussion about it or not, because it was just like,
It just
it
happened.
wasn't even that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things in this day and age that people make such a big deal. And it's like, you got to do this, and you got to do that, you got to do this, and you got to do that. But when it's right, you don't even remember if you did it or not, because it was like, I wasn't having a check, box to be like, did this happen? Did this happen? It was like, it just kind of all naturally flowed.
Happen. Yeah. I think that talking and dating are those two specific words. I think they are synonymous, but I
You
also
think so?
think they're cultural. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because I feel like when you say I'm only talking to you, I feel like that's a term that like just Black people use, and not we have our vernacular, but I feel like that's something that we use to mean we're dating. Like, I'm only talking to you. Like, cuz are you also going out? Are
See,
you
I
also
don't.
hanging out?
I see talking, and I've used that. We use that term a lot in high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I think of talking, I think of we begin to have conversations with the intention that we both knew that we were attracted to one another.
Mhm.
You could be talking to somebody and may not even go on a date. You just had a whole bunch of phone calls, texting back and forth and stuff like that.
Mm.
You could be talking to somebody
Yeah.
and maybe went on one date, but it's
Mhm.
like I wouldn't consider it even being something real if I talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, there was this girl one time who my wife and I were out
Mhm.
at a place in DC, and her and I known each other since we were little, like known each other, not like friends or anything, but knew of each other because it was like camps and summer camps, like we knew of each other.
Yeah.
And it rubbed me the wrong way because she was celebrating her birthday. Her friends left. I was with all my friends. I told her to come over, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, this is so and so." Like my friends buying her drinks. It's your birthday, stuff
Right.
like that. So Bree comes to me and she's like, "It's no big deal. Like I ain't tripping about it." But she was like, "The girl was like, did Dre tell you about us?" And I'm looking like,
What?
I'm
What
like,
what you mean?
about what? Like me and this girl went bowling once. Ain't never kissed a girl, ain't never did nothing intimate,
It
maybe
was
a
clearly
hug.
more significant to her, Dre.
Oh, it wasn't. Because at the time, right, this is before, I think it might have been college area, but this is before the Shea Moisture, all that stuff, to where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, look
Mhm.
at him. It's
Mhm.
like, she might have been probably in that time like, nah, I'm good on him, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, regardless, I could say we talked, but that ain't serious. Like
Yeah.
that ain't nothing to bring up to nobody. Nothing happened. Nothing was. There was maybe an interest. We went out. I
Lucky
probably
I even
paid for
remember it.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't consider that I dated her. But if
No.
you say we talk, like, yeah, we talked for like a second, but I wouldn't
Okay.
say I dated her.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. It's like the preliminary to dating. And I also think maybe it's like an age thing because today I would never use that term like I'm talking to someone. We're either like dating unexclusively, if I think that's the word, or dating exclusively. Like we're dating though, and a part of dating is talking. I'm
Mm.
not dating you. How am I dating you if we don't talk on the phone or like have conversations? But
Yeah.
like dating just means
But you're thinking of it as the literal sense of like talking versus like you said culturally
yes,
it
because
being like a slang thing.
exactly, because when to your point, when I was using talking, I was in high school and that was basically the extent of it.
Instead
Like
of what we were doing.
we weren't really going on that many dates, especially if they weren't they were just group hangouts. So
Yeah.
I was it's like, oh yeah, we talking. It's like you and so and so talk. It's like, yeah, that meant that we were dating. That meant
Gotcha.
that like me and this person were hanging, trying to build a connection. But I don't remember the last time I've used that phrase to define what I was doing with the
Yeah,
guy that
maybe
I
it's
was
like a
seeing.
younger phrase.
Yeah, or maybe seeing. Maybe that's the word I use. Like I'm seeing someone. To me, that still means like I'm
That's an
dating
older
them.
term.
Okay, that's a damn. I'm old.
Well, no,
Damn.
not like, but I'm just saying it's like
See how I creep up on you?
it's like seeing sounds like something an older generation. Like if I was younger in
Mm-hmm.
high school, like my days,
Mm-hmm.
nobody in high school said they were
Say
seeing
we were
somebody.
seeing
That sounds
someone
like something their parents might
mature.
say. Somebody might mature. You say I'm talking to so
I
and
guess
so.
I am mature then. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do think talking should be a part of dating. So if that's going over somebody's head, catch that gem.
Yeah, elephant is gray, but everything gray in the elephant.
There we go. That bingo. Y'all know Dre. Y'all know Dre. If you're not new here, Dre good for stuff like that. Dre's good for stuff like that. Okay, moving into now a relationship. To me, that's a lot more obvious.
Yeah,
And that means like there is monogamy. 9 times out of 10, that means like it's not about I'm only talking to you. It's not about I'm only dating you. It's not about I'm only sleeping with you. I'm doing all of the things just with you, and you're just doing that with me. That's defined, except that's the whole point of this discussion today. It's not always defined. To your point about you ever realize you just like happen to be in something? I think a lot of people find themselves just like in a relationship without ever saying, hey, is this a relationship? And
yeah,
then, of course, beyond that, for those that want to be married, you have like true marriage,
yeah. I think
solid commitment.
I'm happy that this is where we started
Hmm.
because over my time of hearing different people talk about their experiences in relationship,
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing that you have to do when you're dating is defining things and
Yes.
understanding what certain things mean to you, because they don't mean the same thing. Just how we're having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about talking versus dating. What does
Mm-hmm.
that mean? What does that mean? We can see other people. That, like, what do we say? So it's important to have the conversation as you get to each stage in your relationship
Yeah.
about what does dating mean to you? What
Mm-hmm.
does exclusivity mean to you? What does being a girlfriend or a boyfriend mean to you? What does marriage even mean to you? Like, paint me a picture of what that looks like.
Yes.
Why is it beneficial and why is it not beneficial? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just hearing somebody say, oh, this is what marriage is or this is what dating is, doesn't give you the full understanding of their perspective on it.
Yeah.
So asking, like, why do you see it that way? What's a healthy one to you and what's an
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy one to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody could say dating is seeing each other exclusively, but then when you ask them what is, a healthy relationship, they might be like, well, sometimes some people might cheat, other people might cheat, you yell at each other, might call each other out your name, but it's coming back to where
Yeah.
it's like, I ain't grow up seeing that. That's not my definition of it, right?
Nope.
But there are people who
Mm-hmm.
see examples of, like, oh yeah, you curse each
That's
other
what you do in
out and you
relationships.
just, you
Yeah.
figure it back
You work
out.
it
You
out.
good. You good. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we all know that old couple that's like about 75, 80,
Mm-hmm.
and they look like they can't stand each other, but it's like a love in there, but it's like a weird, like,
It's a weird
it's
thing.
like a
That's like
weird
only they
love.
really actually understand it. And that's fine as
Like,
long as it
you
works for them.
you catch each part, you like, that man get on her last nerve, boy, and she do the same to him, but something about, they get it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's about understanding, like, what are those terms mean for that person,
Yeah.
so that I can try to understand, because you can be in the same relationship with completely different rules
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
goals in your head about what this even means.
Yeah. I know, just like thinking it back to when I got in relationships,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember it correctly, because my memory sometimes fails me, I do remember like being asked, even if it wasn't like, will you be my girlfriend? It wasn't like that
Yeah.
formal. I hate to make that voice, but it just feels a little youthful when you
Yeah.
just come out and say it. But I do remember having like conversations like, I want us to take it to the next step. That's usually what it sounded like. Like I only want to be with you, or I like how this feels. I want to continue to do this just with you. Are you okay with that? I also very much appreciate that feeling. And here comes one of my double standards, because I do have a few. I think that that comes from the man.
Oh,
I
for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't like, although I understand why women ask, like, what are we doing? Where is this going? Or what is this? But I usually feel like that question is asked like that, using those exact words I just used, when they feel like maybe something should have already happened, or certain conversations should have been initiated by the man that they're dating, and they're not. And so now they're like trying to um hint, whether directly or indirectly, that like, hey, what's going on here? Because I like, what are we doing? Because maybe there are behaviors that feel like we're together, but then maybe there's statements that contradict that. Maybe there's even other behaviors that might contradict that. So I will say I appreciated being like asked, so that I was clear. And never have I ever been asked about it, or it was suggested that this is what we do, and I wasn't on the same page. Interestingly enough, I've never had to say to someone like, no, I'm not really feeling that. If I felt that feeling, it was before we got to that place.
Yeah.
Like if these were some of, like you said, some of those preliminary conversations around like, how do you define this? How do you see? Because sometimes people ask you like, how do you see our situation? So yes, there were some times where that question was asked, and it was before we had even gotten that far. So I would be like, well, I don't have such strong feelings, or I think this feels more like a friendship, instead of, will you be my girl, give or take some words there. And I was like, no, I've never had to do that. I've never had to do that. But I do think that guys should be the initiator of calling it a thing.
Yeah, I believe so too. It's like what I've said in previous episodes, that every action you take is kind of like the brick that you're building your relationship house
Mhm.
out of. Like
Mhm.
even the smallest actions in the beginning. So it's like if I'm in a relationship and I say I'm a man and I want you to follow me and
Mhm.
I'm the leader, it's like I should know what I want, right?
Yeah.
And if I know what I want and where I want my life to go and how I want our life to go, then me saying I want you to be my woman is something that I need to say. If I'm sitting here taking a back seat waiting for you to ask me, so
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's like either one, which is both an issue, I'm waiting for you to ask me, or two, I don't even have the intention with you, which is just another issue, right?
Right.
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 But it's like if I'm waiting for you to ask me, that just sets the foundation and has an outlook for me that there are going to be problems in the future because how am I supposed to be leading you and I'm not even coming forth being like this is what I want, this is what I want for us, this is how I want us to live our life. If I'm
Yeah.
waiting for you to do that stuff, and it's like it's not starting off well.
It's not starting off well. And I want to jump right to that next. That comment that you kind of just made, like, how can I really trust you? Or how do I really not trust you? How do we move forward in this dynamic? If that's the dynamic that we say we want, like for you to be the leader for the most part, for you to set the vision. But I also find, right, that that is tied to timelines and whether we want to try to erase them all or say like we should just let's just catch the vibe. Let's just, it could be 6 months here, it could be 2 months there, it could be 1 year there. I do think it makes sense that we can earmark certain things that might happen within a timeline, but I also want to like talk about how that behavior, like when you're doing certain behaviors, especially within a certain time frame, how people get confused. It's like you say, case in point, you say we're not together, right? We're not in a relationship. We're just getting to know each other. We're talking or we're seeing each other. But we're seeing each other every single day for weeks and weeks on end. I am in your personal space, you're in mine. I'm hanging around people that you like and love. You're hanging around people that I like and love. We're doing all of these things. We're maybe even taking trips, vacations, certainly probably having intimacy, whether it's complete leg sex or we're kissing. We're doing something that feels very like this is my boo. This is my man, my man, my man. And you're now doing that for, let's say, 3 months, 4 months. How is someone supposed to not feel like this is a relationship or this is now, this feels like we're basically together, even though the conversation hasn't happened? How does someone, I guess, fight that feeling of like, okay, we didn't have the talk. So even though we're doing all of the things that look like we're in a relationship, we're not in a relationship because we didn't talk about it. Because that happens a lot.
Yes.
It happens a lot.
But let me tell you something. As a man,
Mm-hmm.
if I found a woman that I want to be with and spend the rest of my life with, you think I want to leave it up to any question that she's available to anybody else but me?
Right.
Not at all.
Right. No.
Like if I and if I identify that this is somebody that I could possibly see myself spend the rest of my life with, easy, quick, in a hurry, I'm locking that down. Even if I'm in a point in my life where I'm not ready, because I've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I made a decision out of haste in a relationship that I wasn't ready for
Mm-hmm.
with an amazing girl at the time.
Yeah.
Mainly because I did not want anybody. I recognized how great she was, and
Yeah.
I did not want
Like I don't want
anybody else
nobody
to
else to have that.
to
Yeah.
get near her or it to
Mm-hmm.
be any question that she was available, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to figure out, or people have to recognize, is like everybody has bought a car before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to understand and figure out, are you being test driven, leased, or bought?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like those are different stages, right? Test drive is quick, easy, just trying to fill it out, see what it is, see if I'm interested, right?
Yeah.
That lease could feel like you're being bought, right?
For sure. I was
Right?
gonna say the behaviors are basically the same. You take
Basically
it
the
home,
same.
you park it at your house, you take it on trips. You can't take it but so many miles,
Right?
but you take it on trips. You do a lot with it, just like if you owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the difference is like So if you like it this much, why don't you just buy it?
Yeah.
So that's then the question. Sometimes we say actions are louder, speak louder than words,
Hmm.
but they both should match. That's what we should say. The
Yeah.
actions should match the words.
Yes.
Like we don't want to see actions say one thing and words not say something, or words
Hmm.
say something and actions not say something. They both should match each other.
They should completely align.
So my question is, if your actions are showing it, why can't your words say it?
Hmm. Well, because people are selfish. And that's the harsh reality. People like feeling something without or benefiting from something without always having to actually invest and commit to it. Unfortunately, there are also the other unfortunate side is that there are people that will give you all of those things because their standards are low or their boundaries are loose. And so they find themselves obviously on the back end getting frustrated, but up front they find themselves being just so okay with, I'll cook for you, I'll do all these things for you, you can come to my house. You're never like creating a cost of admission. It's like you can get into the park, right? You can get into an amusement park, you pay a fee, you can get into the grounds basically. But then once you're on the grounds, there are other experiences that might have another ticket. They have another admission cost. I feel like relationships or access to you should have the same levels or checkpoints. It's like you can have this much stuff in the dating phase.
Yeah.
And then once I get that commitment, both verbal and through your behaviors, now you get a whole nother set of access. It might be a couple of things now that I'm like your girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
like we're officially together. And then if we go to full distance and like you propose to me, now we're working towards marriage, and that is going to maybe come with a whole nother set of things. And of course, ultimately, if we're married, then that is going to open up every single door. You're fully, now you own the amusement park. You're not just visiting it. You're not just coming in for a couple of quick rides. I do think that's why the conversation is so incredibly important, because if you don't know where you are with the person, you like you said at the top of the episode, you're thinking one thing, you're defining this as one thing, and they're thinking a whole nother thing, and you all have never had a conversation about it. So now you over here operating like a fiance. Or maybe let's say you're operating like a girlfriend when you're really just someone they're kicking it with, and they're seeing, and they just have very loose boundaries, or they're very selfish and they just are like, I'm gonna get everything I can because you're giving it to me.
That's why it's so important to have that's why it's so important that when you're dating to really understand somebody's perspective, like asking pointed questions to
Mm-hmm.
understand how someone sees life,
Yeah.
because nobody wants to see themselves as a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
So every action that they take, in their mind, they've justified why they are able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand how they see life, because them doing all the relationship things but not committing to you, they've somehow in their mind justified that that's fine,
But
because
that's
nobody
totally
wants
fine.
to see themselves as a bad person. It's kind of like what we talked about, or what we talk about when it comes to slavery. They say one of the most dangerous things, even though the raping and lynching and all that stuff was horrible, was the narrative that was created. Because in order to do that, you have to mentally put yourself in a place to where you don't see anything wrong with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your perspective on life is
Mm-hmm.
has to be completely skewed for
Yeah.
you to feel okay with taking this action. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're dating, that's why we really say it's about really getting to know somebody,
Yeah.
because you have to understand the why.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't understand the why, you'll think you guys are thinking the same about things. So you're like, oh yeah, this feels like a relationship. This seems like a relationship.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything to me, but it's doing all the relationship things. In their mind, they like,
I do this with
I do
I
this
do
with
this with
everybody.
everybody. Yeah.
Right? Like I know some dudes that really like they date like a relationship, and they do that with everybody. So they
Mm-hmm.
don't see anything from it. Or they do it because they like the
Benefits.
benefits and
Yeah.
and the adulation. Like people all like the women all over and mesmerized, like this is amazing. Like they
Yeah.
like that.
Uh-huh.
The way that they see it is just completely different than you. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
understand and delay gratification sometimes to really
Ooh.
understand and see like who this person is, what their motives are, why do they do this. and then go from there to make your decisions.
That's right. Let's get into the 4 C's because we've spent a lot of time on the very first one because it's very natural when we're talking about this
Yeah.
exclusive talk. The very first C is clarity. Goes without saying, we've again just spent a bunch of time talking about it. You have to have the conversations, and you can certainly use softer terms like, and we love the sandwich method. We've talked about that of saying like, I'm really enjoying you, or like the time that we spend together, it makes me feel so good. So I was thinking maybe we could just have a conversation about where you're at with things. How are you feeling about intention and the next steps? Because I would love to, if you're open to it, take the next step with you. That's a softer, kinder way to basically say, what's going on? Like, are you here too? Do you also like me a lot? And do you also enjoy this a lot? It also signals to them that like you want commitment, right? No one's going to ask those questions or even say it that way if they don't actually want more. They're going to be just as quiet as you. They're going to avoid the conversation. They're going to just keep kicking it, having fun, doing whatever it is that you do without like actually bringing anything up. They're just going to keep moving forward. But I also think clarity should come at least preliminarily when you first talk to someone. Like literally that very first conversation of like really asking them, not what are you trying to do with me specifically, because that's what I was just talking about, but like what's your purpose? Like what are you out here dating for?
Yeah, I agree. The decision to want to date exclusively comes before you actually have a person,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? You
Mhm.
don't meet a person and just be like, I want to be exclusive with you. It's like, no, I'm making an effort in my mind,
Mhm.
a decision in my mind to say, like, I'm dating with intention of being exclusive with somebody. I want to find somebody that I really like and that I only want to be with them and
Mhm.
spend time with them to get to know them and
Mhm.
ultimately be in a relationship with them and maybe have a lifelong partnership with them. Like, I'm
Yeah.
making that decision
Right.
before I'm actually finding a person. So then the way I enter into that is different because it's like, when people say like, oh, when I find the right person, it's like you're not even going into asking the right questions
Right.
because your objective is different.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, is like your approach to things is all about what your ultimate objective is.
Mhm.
If you're saying that I'm out here dating and doing and sleeping with everybody, but when I find the right one, I'll settle down. It's
Mhm.
like you're not even approaching the right one with the right attitude.
Yeah.
We're talking the right way. We're
Yeah.
asking the right questions. We're trying to accomplish the right things. We're trying to see the right things, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You're going about it in a completely different way. That's why when
Mhm.
I think of my decision to wait for marriage, I encourage other people to wait a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Everybody may not be able to wait till marriage, but at
Mhm.
least for men to wait, because think about how I had to go about dating my wife
Mhm.
when my decision now is to wait for marriage. So I'm not talking to her and dating her to try to sleep with her. So now when I'm dating, what am I doing?
Mhm.
If I'm not trying to sleep with her, through my conversation, through how I'm dressing, through how I'm showing up, is not to
Mhm.
try to sleep with her. Now what am I doing?
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I'm actually trying to get to know who this person is. If I want to see this person again, it's not to sleep with her. It's because, you know what? I really
I
enjoyed
like
my
seeing this
time
person.
like with that person. And then if I
Yes.
want to see her again, it's like, I
Mhm.
really like the last times we hung out. She makes me laugh. This is
Mhm.
fun. Like, it's
Mhm.
not with the objective of like, oh, let me see, what I could do to do this and conquer her and get her in bed. It's like, oh, I'm actually approaching this in a different way. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. And the biggest thing too is that when it's right, it's clear.
Yes.
Like when
That
it's right, it's clear.
it's honestly not
It's
complicated.
not.
Mm-mm. Not getting into an exclusive relationship. No.
No,
No.
no. It's like the next step. Like it just feels like the natural next step. It doesn't
Mhm.
come as a surprise when
Mhm.
the conversation comes up,
Yeah.
and you can't even hold it back. It's like how you are talking, how you're communicating. And I think we're talking about this a little bit later. It's like it shows up in a
Mhm.
way that's like the wheeze, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing things. It's
Yes.
not confusing at all.
At all. It is so blaringly obvious. That's why when y'all say, "What are the signs, baby?" No, cut it out. All right, let's jump into the next C, because when you think about being in a relationship or deciding that you want to date intentionally, you want to think about your capacity. Like, you could very well want something, but do you actually have room for it? Do you actually have room to take on another person's stuff? Stuff being whatever they might be feeling on certain days, making yourself available to actually spend time with them. Like, when you look at your life today, do you actually have pockets where you're like, ooh, I enjoy doing this, but I actually have room to do this with someone else? Or right now I'm filling up my schedule with, um, 2 books a week, where if I was dating someone, I could totally drop that down to 1 book a week,
Mm-hmm.
because the other time that I spend reading, I'm going to now be going on dates. I'm going to now be planning nice things for my person. I think it's important that once you arrive to the decision that you think you want to be in a relationship, whether it's with someone specifically, but I'm really talking about before you even meet your person, quote unquote, that you really look at your life and determine if you have the capacity to, that you're not just wanting to be in a relationship for what you're going to receive from a person, but to also get in a relationship because of what you are able to give to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that famous meme? Like, we do not have the capacity. Have you seen that meme?
No,
You
I
ain't
don't
seen
think
that
so.
meme?
Is it a kid?
No, it's like a dude. He's like crying. It was like a news conference. He was like, "We did not have the capacity."
No, no, I've never
uh,
seen
I
this.
gotta show you that. But you know who Jonathan McReynolds is?
Yes.
That's like when you said that, it made me think of his song "Make Room."
Mm,
And the lyrics, even though it's Jesus focused, it
sure.
still speaks true, even if you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about a relationship with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's I find space for what I treasure. I make time for what I want. I choose my priorities. And
Mm-hmm.
in the song, it says, Jesus, you're my number one. But those
Mm-hmm.
first 3 lines, like, I make space for what I treasure. I
Mm-hmm.
make time for what I want.
Yeah,
I choose my priorities. Like, those, that's real.
that's real.
Like, you make space for what you want.
That's
You
right.
choose what comes 1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
You choose where you spend your time.
Yeah.
And that speaks a lot into the first seat, the clarity. Like if somebody's making time for you, if somebody is choosing you as a priority, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Saying that you are something that they want,
Yeah.
then it becomes more clear. Because we got to understand, Tasia talked about this yesterday
Mm-hmm.
when we were recording. She was talking about low impact men. If you can't feel the impact of that man that you're in a
Mm,
relationship with, if
forget
you are
about it.
questioning what are we, what should we be doing, who are we exclusive, do you really like me like that?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't felt that impact.
Nope.
And if you've been with somebody 3 months, 4 months, and you questioning that, that ain't the man for you. You should
Nope.
feel the impact of
Yes.
somebody who like you.
Yep. Yeah, you should. I mean, girls, we know what it sounds like. It's like, girl, he don't play about me. This man that keeps calling. I'm going out with him again. Like, it's you absolutely positively you feel it, and you feel it just in capacity, just how much time and effort he's showing you. But then to move into the next C, you feel it in compatibility. When you guys do talk, when you do spend time together, it's like how he views the world. You're like, wow, that feels good. Like, same. I see things that way too. Or if you guys start having conversations about family, if you're thinking about having a family in the future, it's like if he says like, oh, I really think it's important for kids to have, a well-rounded life and not just focus on education, but they should be in the arts, or they should be in sports, or they should be in these things. And you're like, I feel the same way too. When you feel like you're just aligning, and trust me, there are going to obviously be differences, and you should want some differences. That's the only way you grow and stay curious, when you can have some yin and some yang. But yeah, when you're talking about things that really matter to you, when you're talking about the future and how you would want to set up a foundation for your life with a partner, and that person is saying those things, and you're finding compatibility, because we've now gone past chemistry. We're clear that we like each other. We're clear that we're physically attracted to each other. We're clear that, like, I think you're funny. You like the way I laugh at your jokes. Now we're getting into the meat of it, where we're talking about compatibility. And that's a very good sign that, like, we are working towards something exclusive that will hopefully stand the test of time, because we feel similarly about a lot of things that are really important to us.
Yeah, and we have to understand because sometimes when we think of compatibility, we think of like values and what we
Mm-hmm.
like, where we
Mm-hmm.
want to live, but timing is also part of
Yes.
that compatibility too, and
Yeah.
probably is one of the biggest disruptors of like
Mm-hmm.
that perfect chemistry, what could have been a great relationship, is just the timing of it. Two people being in two different points in their lives, right? I think of my one relationship that I had. If she
Mm-hmm.
met the man that I am today, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I, you know, in college, then that relationship probably would have been different,
Yeah,
but just wasn't the right timing. Like the
was not.
maturity level where I was
Mm-hmm.
at, even where she was at in life,
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't the right time. Doesn't mean it's two bad people,
Yeah,
but you have to understand that timing is just as important as the chemistry aspect, as the values aspect. Like we have to be on the same timeline and ultimately want the same things.
that's right. That's right. It's the only way. And then once you got the chemistry, right? We got the clarity. I'm combining some C's here. I'm giving you more than four C's. But once you have the clarity and you've had like the conversation and you know what you're doing
You got the
and you
capacity.
got the capacity, you're making space for the person and you know you got this compatibility because you're talking, you kicking it, you doing all of those things. Now it's about repetition. Now it's about how frequent are you seeing this person? How frequently are you talking to this person? How many things do you actually really align on? And how much are they showing up and keeping to their word, which is consistency. That's when you're firing to me like on all cylinders, just to throw in another C where it's like, okay, like you keep coming back, you keep making me feel good. Like this keeps you're supportive. We feel the same way about God, like we're spiritually aligned and it's not changing, right? It might be evolving, but you're not going from one extreme to the next. You're not like, oh, this particular week of the month, I saw you, I talked to you every single day. We spent some time together. I communicated well. But then the following week, he is literally nowhere to be found. You think he died or you think she died. When you see inconsistencies like that, that's a very, very clear sign that like, uh-oh, this might not be my person. We may not be going into an exclusive direction because they may even be doing that intentionally, not to hurt you, but to intentionally communicate through their behavior that this is not that. Because we're not exclusive, I can come in and I can go out. And I think a lot of people sometimes miss that because the high feels so good. You ever
Yeah.
like have a feeling and you feel like it lasts so much longer than the time you were feel like actually actively in that feeling?
Hmm.
I think that happens sometimes in dating where you're like, this past weekend was amazing. And you're letting that drag you through 2 weeks of stuff that was not amazing, unreturned phone calls, um, weird conversations, disagreements. You're letting that really sweet 2 days drag you over for 2 weeks of crap. And then you look up and you're like, I just don't understand what happened. It's those glasses, it's those rose-colored glasses that have you hypnotized and drunk off of that moment. And that moment is great, but you can't let it push you into something or propel you into something that is not consistently showing you that it's the right thing for you.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the Three Little Pigs story with the
Hmm.
house built to straws and and the house
Yeah.
built of bricks. It's like you want your relationship built out of something that you can trust.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
by accident that I'm saying trust, because trust is one of the foundational things in your
Of a
relationship.
relationship. Yeah.
And consistency is how you build trust,
Trust. Yeah.
right? But if you hear one day, not here another day, here one day, not here another day, that's
Hmm.
kind of like building your house out of straw.
Yeah.
And you might live in it and feel be okay with it in some
Hmm.
instances,
Hmm.
but when a storm does come, that house ain't gonna hold up,
Not at all.
right? Because there's nothing
Yeah.
that you can legitimately stand
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
So you want to make sure your house and home is built and your relationship is built off of trust. But the only way to do that is through consistent repetition. Like I need to know that I can count on you. I need to know certain behaviors happen, when you do this, or that you'll show up in this way. And what people don't often talk about too is sometimes that allows me to protect you. If I
Hmm.
know you are normally here at this time, or you normally do this at this time, or you normally act like this, so I can track if there's something off, if there's something wrong, and be able to be there for you,
Yeah.
um, in times to where you may need me. But if you're so inconsistent, you're not where you say you're gonna be, you don't call when you say, like, I don't even know how to be there for you because I don't even know where you are in the first place,
Not at all.
both physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
I have no idea where you are. Yeah, that's no foundation. And that's absolutely a red flag that like, this is probably not going in that direction. And I think I watched someone talk about this recently. They've been in they're a public figure and they've been in some public relationships because they're a public figure. And she just candidly said, you know, I used to feel like once I went through my first big fallout and, you know, people all on the internet, people like, dang, you know, making it a big deal. It was a big deal because obviously I was dealing with it. But then there's this fallout all over the internet and people are like, oh my gosh. And I said to myself, this is what she's saying. I said to myself, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to publicly blast my relationship. I'm not going to do it. And then she's like, and then after I sat with that for a while, I thought to myself, like, but why? Like, that's just who I am. Like, it was nothing wrong with me feeling that way about that person, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we were together. We decided to be exclusively together. We believed that we were going the long haul. And so I was well within my right and feeling to want to tell people or like just share it, not even like, hey, I got a man. Just to share it because it was a natural part of my life. And so why would I then go into a new relationship and feel like, nah, I'm not gonna do when she's like, when I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. You get into a relationship, and if everything that we just talked about is going in the right direction, and it's like, okay, great, this is my person. We're
Yeah.
going down the road. You don't know that it's not your person until you find out that it's not your person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people get scared of like getting into a relationship because they feel like they have to get it right this time. Like I don't want to get exclusive with you after 3 months because like, what if this doesn't work out in 2 years? It doesn't work out in 2 years. I mean, it doesn't work out. What can you really do about that? You can't totally control it. There are people who got married and thought, this is it. That's what I said. Till death do us part. We're never gonna break up. And then we were married for 40 years, had 2 and 3 kids. And then we broke up. It happens. It happens. So I wish people would not get so scared of moving towards commitment, especially if it's something that you truly want, for the fear of it not working out. We do so many things every single day that could lead to a bad outcome. We get in our cars. You know, you could die. You could get on that road today and lose your life. You could also get to your destination just fine. Like you get out on the field for athletes, you get out on the court, whatever you do, you could totally have a cardiac moment and pass away while playing a sport. You could also not and have a wonderful game and score and everything's fine and you have a 20, 30-year Hall of Fame entry career. Lots of things could go one way versus the other way. I just don't like it that we sometimes, I don't know, we put so much stock in relationships because yes, they do matter and you don't want to jump into them without thoughtfulness. But if it doesn't work out, it's guys, you're probably not gonna die, babe. It's okay. You will live to see another day.
I agree. It's like the question is, do you not trust them or do you not trust yourself?
Yeah, I think it's the latter.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, and I tell people this more recently now when it comes to relationships.
Hmm.
Stop telling me what you like in appearance with somebody. Stop telling me, oh, I like somebody who look like this and look like that. Remove that from your list when it talks about trying to find a partner. You know
Hmm.
why? Because your eyes will tell you.
Yes.
You don't need to say, I like this, I like this, I like
Hmm.
somebody who this, I like. When you see them, you'll know,
Hmm.
right? So many people are planning so many things out that they're not letting themselves just experience it
Mm.
and just be like, I ain't like that.
Yeah.
Or I did like that. That was nice.
Hmm.
That wasn't nice.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you don't trust yourself
Hmm.
to experience something and cut it off at that moment and say, like, yeah, this is not for me.
It work out.
Versus having this whole plan of before you even interact, having all these things that won't and will happen and where you won't go and what you won't do and why you won't go. Instead of doing all that, just kind of leave your primary list. I want
Hmm.
somebody who's kind. I want somebody who's respectful.
Yeah.
If you know the religion thing is important to you, I want somebody who, you know, has faith in God.
Yeah.
Those foundational things. Now, when it comes to money, when it comes to, you know, like looks, all those different things, experience that.
Hmm.
And if you experience it and you don't like it, it's fine. Then you
That's
can
it.
say like, oh, okay, that wasn't for me. But if
Mhm.
somebody says like, hey, I would love to take you out to this nice tequila and tacos like night on this restaurant, I think it's amazing, because it's not Ruth Chris. Don't just, or Maji, some maestros or something like
Yeah,
that. Don't
yeah.
just experience it and just be like, I didn't really like that.
Mhm.
Or being like, that was a great time. I
Mhm.
understand why that person liked it, but it's like all these disqualifications of things. And it's like, instead of, it sounds like you don't trust yourself versus
Yeah.
trusting other people. Like, experience it. Like, trust your own gut and feelings.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to plan everything.
Mhm.
Experience it and just be like, yeah,
That worked or didn't work.
yeah.
It's such simple but really good advice. Like this thing does not have to be complicated at all, guys. Like yes, have the conversations, but also and have the conversations with yourself, which you were just talking about. You know what your list is. You know what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. Just experience it and feel it out. And when you have met someone that is checking off most of the boxes for you, like not your scribe that rolls out onto the floor, but they're checking the things that matter to you the most, that make you feel the most special or most good. It's okay to just move forward in a relationship. I think, I understand that there are lots of people that believe that time is a construct, right? It's not real. we we've created that, and I do believe that to some degree, but what I think we can all see and know, for as far as we can see it and know it, we are on limited time. We do have limited time, and we don't even know how much time we truly have. Most of us don't know the day or the hour where the life that we know it will expire. So sitting around trying to, again, like just completely shape shift something into something, or like, oh, I gotta really really know, because if I don't, it's just no need for that. I think you starve yourself of natural organic experiences that feel good to you, because listen, the tacos and tequila, you might learn 6 or 7 things about tequila that the fine dining spot couldn't teach you, because it's just not something that they do there. It's not. This person may also absolutely love steakhouses, and is going to happen for you, but this felt like more of an experience, or it felt like more of a way for you all to be able to talk and like get to know each other. Or maybe you remember that time we went to that
Oh
Mexican
yeah, I remember
restaurant
that
and they
spot.
had the band.
Lord
Let me
Jesus.
tell you something, that wound up being such a entertaining
Memorable.
yeah, it was very
Like,
memorable
we
because
probably, Rhonda and I probably been to dinner and lunch with plenty of times, but that's
really,
one that I
you'll never forget
never
it.
forget
You'll
it.
never forget it, because it was like this band want you. We just started being like, okay, fine. Let's just get into it, because we can't escape it. So you never know when you're going to have a moment like that, or when you're starving yourself of having a really worthwhile relationship, because you are scared or you don't trust yourself to be making a good decision for yourself. And again, as soon as you see the signs, as soon as you start to feel those consistencies become inconsistencies, it's okay to decide, I know that we're together now, but we're not anymore, because I don't like that. It didn't work out. You can break up with people.
And
It's okay.
what's the best thing about like having a smaller list and just experiencing somebody
Mhm.
is that you're entering into a space that you've never been before. As much as you think
Mhm.
you've
Mhm.
never been married for 5 years
Mhm.
or 10 years. And if
Yeah.
your intention is to spend the rest of your life with that person, you're creating a list of qualifiers and disqualifiers that you don't even know if you need or don't need when it comes to actually being in a lifelong relationship with
Mhm.
somebody.
Great point.
Like, I had this thought of what marriage would be,
Mhm.
but it's not until you're in it,
That
you've been
you
in it for 4 years, five
Yeah.
years, been with somebody for 10 years almost, that you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why that makes sense.
Mhm.
Or that's why that doesn't make sense. It's
Mhm.
even like when you work for a big company and you get into entrepreneurship. When you're at that company, you like, this is stupid. Why they do this? Why they got it like that? Why they do it like this? And then once you get into entrepreneurship and you start growing, you're like, oh, okay, that's why
That's why they said
that's
that.
like that. Okay,
Mhm.
now I get why this is like that.
Mhm.
Guess what? They're decades down the road than you are, right?
Yeah.
They've been here and got to this
You got
point.
to learn
They
some
went
stuff.
through all what you're doing right now. So it's
Mhm.
like, although there are things that can be changed, there are also things that's like, with experience, you'll understand that like, oh, I need to add this. So it's like, the smaller the list, the better. And I want to say this before we close out, that we talk about this process of exclusivity. I'm a firm believer that you at least need to have a few arguments before you make it exclusive.
I agree.
Like,
I agree, because that's a very important skill.
yes.
How to fight and how to resolve conflict is a very important skill set, and you need to see if your person understands how to do it or how they function when it's happening. Because it's not even just the fight; it's the
Yeah.
recovery. It's a lot to glean from disagreement.
Yeah, I need to know how you react when I
Mhm.
disappoint you.
Mhm.
I need to know how you communicate with me
Mhm.
when you're upset.
Yeah.
Like, those things are important. That was one of the reasons that I knew my wife was that we got into our first disagreement and argument, and that was the first relationship I ever been in where I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay and work it out.
Mm.
And it's like, the good times, chemistry, all that, the
Check.
laughs,
Easy
all
peasy.
those things, you could do that with a lot of people,
Mhm.
right? But getting into the points where they annoy you and they get on your nerves, or you were counting on them and they let you down, like, we need to experience a little bit of that too, because then that will allow me to understand, who you really are. And that's really what relationships about. I talk about all the time, is who you deciding to go through crap with, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments
Yep.
to where you gotta, like, grind it out with each other. And I
Mhm.
need to know that this person in this foxhole with me is somebody I want to be in here with, and they're
Yeah.
enjoyable. And even in the rough times, we can still make good times. We eating our
Mm.
ramen noodles on this cardboard box lit up with a candle because the electricity out. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure we still, like, can enjoy that time with each other and have
Yeah.
laughs and have
Mhm.
fun, and we understand how to communicate each other, even with each other, even when times are bad. Like, so
Yeah.
you need to have some arguments
Yeah.
first before you get exclusive. If y'all ain't have no arguments, number one, either y'all avoiding it, and that's going to be a big issue,
Ooh.
or two, y'all just need to dig a little deeper and,
Mhm.
get into it a little bit more, because every relationship has arguments, and you need to go through that.
You absolutely need to go through that. I second that emotion. I really do hope that we were able to make it clear. Like, again, getting into an exclusive relationship, it takes some work.
Yeah.
It takes some consistencies. It takes some things, but it is not as complicated as it's being made to be today. We just need to continue to open up the lines of communication, make them effective, make them honest and transparent. That's the best way for you to get to your person, if you're being yourself authentically, and if you're being honest about what you want and what you don't want, and being honest not just with the other person, but with yourself about what you really need, what you really want, and what you really do not want. I'm so curious to know, like, from the real lovers, so make sure y'all drop this in the comment section. What does exclusivity look like for you? Like, when does that timeline happen? Do you attach it to a timeline? Is it more of a feeling? Do you want to be asked? Like, do you want the person to say, will you be my person? I shout out to Sade, one of my good friends, who was very clear that she wanted, like, a girlfriend proposal. Like and she got it.
Okay.
And she
Good
got
work.
it. But she made that
She
very clear.
communicated.
She
I
communicated
did
it.
it. I just did a note with a checkbox. I took it back to
Very
elementary
cute.
school.
Very, very cute. Very cute. But she made it clear, and she got it. Came with a ring and everything.
Mm.
It wasn't like a ring that she
He
wore
said,
on
if
her.
I'm doing it, I'm doing it
I'm gonna do
once.
it. I'm gonna do it all the way. And it wasn't like a wedding ring. It didn't look like that at all. But it was a very nice piece of fine jewelry that she doesn't even wear on a ring finger. It's just something that when she
Got
looks
you.
down at her hand, she knows that it's from him, and she knows that it represents their relationship. So take it from my friend Sade. Communicate what you want. Open up those lines of communication. But please drop down in these comments and let us
Please
know,
do.
like, what does exclusivity look like for you? When do you want it, and how should the person approach? Make sure you follow us on social media. I'm at Ronnie
That's
Cakes
Dre Smith.
and at Relationship Restored. We are on all the things. So shout us out, and please, please, please leave us a 5-star review. We need those like a fat kid needs cakes. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.